morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are and what time it is as you are viewing this video. My name is Zoliswa. Welcome to Boosting Self-Confidence Through Inner Management. This is a masterclass by myself, Zoliswa. If you are passing by and you happen to cross paths with this video, it means that it's a divine appointment. This is the part where you get to pause and just have a little bit of a look into what your current relationship is to self-confidence. You may be someone that has always felt confident in themselves, complete 100% self-confidence. Or you may be someone that says, I used to feel completely self-confident, but things have since changed. I don't know where I've lost it. Somewhere along the way, I have found myself having certain areas of my life where I'm not as confident as I would like to be. Or you could be somebody that says that I have no self-confidence whatsoever. I hide myself, I hibernate, I keep myself in a cocoon because I am scared of what other people are going to say, how others are going to view me. Whoever you are, whichever space that you are at the moment in as far as self-confidence is concerned, you are exactly at the right place. Allow me to spend a few minutes with you so that we can have a look at your self-confidence, and if it happens that there is a little bit of a problem, then let us look at how we can work on it together. There is a quote that I love by Oprah, and it says that it is confidence in our bodies, our minds, and spirits that allows us to keep looking for new adventures. And I want to believe that we are all looking for new adventures. Every single day is an opportunity for us to start afresh. It is pregnant with potential of what is new that can actually take me to my next. So we're looking at our bodies because they are enablers for us to really be driven towards carrying out the responsibilities that have to do with us achieving that which we wish to achieve as we put on self-confidence. We're looking at our minds, the mental attitude that we have. What are the things that we say to ourselves about ourselves, and what are the things that we say to others about ourselves? And we also look at how connected we are to the source, and that is the spiritual aspect of looking at self. Now, what is self-confidence, you may be asking? Well, self-confidence is nothing other than the trust, the belief, or the confidence that you have in yourself. I always notice that many times, most often than not, self-confidence will be written with a hyphen between the two words self and confidence. Now, where do you place the remote control? It is said that everyone in the world has some form of confidence. The issue is where the confidence is. Is the confidence in yourself, or is the confidence placed in another self? It could be another person or another thing. So using the example of the remote control as you see it here, the remote control may be in your hand, and that assists you to change that dial and direct to tune into the view or the frequency that you wish you could tune into. But if the remote control is just sitting on the table and no one is really touching that dial, then things are going to remain constant. We're not going to see any change because there is an action that is required, and this action is directed. So it means that somebody needs to go and press the remote control and direct it towards a certain channel. There is also another possibility that the remote control is held by somebody else, and that somebody else is going to press the remote control in such a way that they view the channel of their own choice. So where is the remote control? In other words, where are you placing the confidence that you already have? There's usually a disconnect that causes us to lack the confidence in ourselves. So there are at least 3 areas that I look at when I work with people in terms of the disconnect that has to do with self-confidence. And the first area is that of the self-concept. How do you view yourself? What is the image that you have of yourself? Just close your eyes and imagine the person that you are. How do you view the person that you are? What are the beliefs that you have about yourself? Yourself in relation to yourself, even before the beliefs that you have about yourself in relation to the external world that you interact with. And thirdly, what are the emotions that you entertain? Fear is one of the popular emotions when it comes to the self-confidence that is treated as a prohibition of some kind for us to get to the other side. When in actual fact, we can befriend the fear when we understand what it seeks to achieve, what it is trying to do by being present in the space where we are seeking to do something maybe for the first time, or we're simply seeking to move on to the next step, doing something that we have tried in the past and did not succeed. But this time around, we have all the weapons and the arms that we need, all the forces that are going to enable us to go forward. So those are the three areas that I look at, which is the self-concept, the beliefs, as well as the emotions, because that is where the disconnect usually lies. So when we have identified where this disconnect is at, it's not the be all and end all. It's well and good to understand where the problem lies as a starting point. So this is the problem, this is the area of discontent, this is the area of dissatisfaction. But now we need to do something so as to shift, create a paradigm shift from the current state that is not serving us to the state that is desired by us. So let's have a look at this window here that we use in terms of creating the shift, starting with the vision. Creative visualization assists us to shift and move and propel ourselves towards the self-confident selves that we have, which are already in existence within us. So how do we do that? Creative visualization is a tool that assists us to go to the future. It pushes us, or it moves us to something that has not already manifested in the space, in the current dream as it is today, but we use our mind by creating this movie of that which we wish to see in front of our eyes today. So you actually produce this movie in such a way that you see yourself being the best version of yourself, the most self-confident person that you have ever been. Where are you? What are you doing? Are you speaking in front of a large number of people? Have you started a business that you were scared of venturing into in the past? Have you started maybe a non-governmental organization, a charity organization where you are developing communities or developing people that are coming from areas that are less privileged? What are you doing? Who are you being in this space? Now, there is one area where no one can ever judge you quite successfully on, and that is in your mind. Because nobody knows what is in your mind up until you express it. And then people are going to judge the expression. And you can always hold on to the positive beliefs that you have about yourself, regardless of what people in the external world are saying. So that is the first area in this window, which is called the vision. Gauging importance is also a relevant factor when it comes to creating this shift. How important is this self-confidence for you? What would happen if you didn't go for it? If you didn't explore the self-confidence that is already sitting in you, whose power just needs to be unleashed? Because if it is very important for you that it would lead you to the manifestation of the vision that you have, then you will jump out of bed in the morning and you will do the things that need to be done, apply the tools and use the concepts that are relevant for you to actually boost the self-confidence that is already available to you. And the third area in this window is what's in your hand. Many people say, I don't have anything to do. I don't have anything to start with. I don't have anything to talk about. I don't know where to go to get assistance. Let us just for this moment focus on what do you have? What is in your proverbial hand? Sometimes what you have is just a desire because you're seeing the whole situation as not serving you. It's everything that you wish did not exist. So what you have is the idea about the opposite, because that is what would make you happy. Already, that is something that you have, because you have an idea that would satisfy the need that is in existence. And fourthly, how do you use the tool that you have, that which you already have in your hand, or a tool that has been provided to you for a day, in terms of shifting you from where you are to the next level? How do you use that tool? So when you look at all of these four areas together, among others, there are a whole lot of others, but I try to simplify this for purposes of a short masterclass of this nature. To create that shift, you need to have a vision. You don't start by just taking an action. You start by creating a vision that when you take a step, when you take that action, you will know that you are taking an action towards what. You also establish the importance. Gauging the importance allows you to emotionally connect to the vision that you have, and that gives you a spring in your foot as you walk towards doing all of those, performing all the tasks and doing all of those tasks that have to do with moving you closer to the vision that you have. Understanding what is in your hand is important, because when you know that I have a stick on my hand and something comes in your way that you want to get out of your way, you might just want to use that stick, and it will change the situation. It will create a new path for you. And then it's important that when tools are available to you, they are put to good use. What's the point of having tools if you're not going to use them? So I want to introduce you to the Boosting Self-Confidence Through Inner Management workshop that I run. It is a virtual workshop. It runs for a few hours, and it covers 3 areas, meaning shut up, shape up, and show up, as you see it here. Now, the shut up phase says reflect. Have a look at the current situation. Looking at the current situation, firstly, we look at the external environment. Somehow we start by looking at the external environment, because we are so used, we are so conditioned to look at the world from the outside in. So we look at the world based on what appears being an operative word, what appears in the external world before we look at ourselves. We tend to look at what is on the outside and how it impacts us, as opposed to starting by looking at ourselves within us, the self-concept, and what are we then pushing out from ourselves towards the external world so that it comes back to us. So shutting up has got to do with this reflection and looking at everything as it is, internally as well as externally. The second phase, which is shaping up, entails now the adjustment that brings together all the pieces that are fit for purpose. Now that you have you have looked at the external world, and within you you looked at your self-concept, you looked at the beliefs, you looked at the emotions, and externally you looked at what is available in the external environment that you can capitalize on, what is not working, what works, what doesn't work, what can be changed. Some will say, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what are the opportunities, and what are the threats. Now, let us look at how we can capitalize on the threats that are there and turn them into opportunities. Let us look at how we can turn the weaknesses into strengths, and let us look at what we would like to discard, because it's not going to be part of the next phase of our lives that entails self-confidence. So, having adjusted and understood what are the tools that we are going to take forward now with us, because they are part of the journey towards boosting self-confidence, we show up, meaning that we then apply all of these tools. We put them into some kind of a package to create ourselves anew, and when we emerge on the other side, we are now a different person than the person that had gone into the shut up phase. So you show up having applied some work during the shape up process. So for a number of years, I have worked as a manager. I am a seasoned manager, and management is one of the tools that I have in my proverbial hand. And when I looked at the environment, I have realized that The management has got principles that we apply in businesses. We allow ourselves to apply in the external environment with no due regard to the internal application, when in actual fact those processes are equally relevant in the inner management if we were to learn how to use them optimally. So I use the inner management principles, and if you choose to join our workshop, you will learn that it's actually very easy to shift anything. It is easy to plan, organize, lead, and control the inner processes that are internally to you, inside of you, so as to give effect to the self-confident outcome that you would like to portray when you show up to the world. And if you would like to be part of the people that will be joining us very soon in the next workshop, be sure to follow the link and enroll. Get yourself to your next, because nobody else will. Up until now, you may have felt that self-confidence is nothing that takes you to where you would like to be. Maybe you have not applied it as appropriately as you should. Give yourself one more chance, because this is the beginning. Your best is yet to come. Have a confident day.